morning, everyone, and welcome to our program. I'm Olivia Rios, Director of Operations and Programs at the LA Latino Chamber, and thank you for joining us today for a topic that's really important, and that's doing business with the Department of General Services. You ever wonder how both large and small businesses do business with the state? Well, today you will learn important nuggets on how to do so from the DGS team. The Department of General Services, or DGS, serves as the business manager for the state with nearly 4,500 employees and a budget of $1.4 billion. That's B for billion. Our guest speaker today is Pierre Washington, who serves as a business liaison, helping businesses understand and comply with the state contracting requirements. He focuses on ensuring that businesses are prepared to take advantage of government contracts and procurement opportunities. His passion is to help others succeed. I'd like to give you a few reasons why you should stay tuned. One is that DGS is the largest purchaser of products and services in the state of California. They have a user-friendly online portal where you can seek opportunities. And lastly, they are a statewide supplier of programs to help businesses gain contracts and opportunities. At this point, I'd like to introduce Pierre and welcome Pierre.
Thank you, Olivia. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the small businesses who are here today. We look forward to helping you succeed. And we want you to know that you guys are the backbone of California's economy. Without you, California would not be as prosperous as it is today. And we thank you all. And like I said, I want to thank the host, LA Latino Chamber of Commerce, for the introduction and all the wonderful work you guys do in supporting small businesses. And hello, everyone. It's great to be here. As Olivia said, my name is Pierre Washington with the California Department of General Services, specifically the Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprises. Today, I'll be leading the first of 3 sessions designed to support diverse and disabled veteran-owned businesses in landing state contracts. Our Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Businesses Enterprises, also known as OSDS, is here to guide you on certification, connecting with the state as a buyer, and offering outreach, education, and advocacy. As a business outreach liaison, my goal is to walk you through the process of working with the state, from getting started to positioning your business for success. We want all small businesses to have a fair shot at contracting with the state and ideally to thrive. You've registered for this session, so you're already on the right path. Now let's go ahead and get started. By the end of this webinar, our goal is for you to have a solid understanding of state certification, how state procurement works, and whether it makes sense for your business. You'll also walk away with solid resources to help you start the registration and certification process. We know it's a lot of material, so we'll pause after each section for questions and clarifications. On that note, please hold your questions for these Q&A breaks to keep us on track. Here's what we'll be covering today: the different types of certifications, the Cal eProcure website, your one-stop shop for registering, certifying your business, and finding resources and opportunities. Building your profile, including the importance of keywords and UNSPSC codes, exploring current solicitations and past purchases to inform your research and strategy. The role of advocates in marketing your services and products to the state, understanding the commercially useful function requirements to stay compliant when you are awarded a contract. And finally, a look at some additional resources. Now, the state and each department and agency has a requirement to direct 25% of all contract spending to small businesses and 3% of contract spending to disabled veteran business enterprises. Now, what does that mean? As you can see on this slide, the state has a significant annual budget. In fiscal year 22-23, the latest year we have data for, the state directed over $4 billion to small businesses and nearly $900 million in DVBEs. This represents the largest investment ever in these businesses in our program's history. It's a substantial amount and represents a major opportunity for businesses looking to work with the state. To get started, Certifying your business is key. Through the Department of General Services, California offers 3 certification options: small business for public works, and disabled veteran business enterprises, also called DVBE. The state does not offer certifications for woman-owned, minority-owned, or disadvantaged businesses. However, Caltrans does recognize these federal disadvantaged businesses, the DBE certification, but only for their federally funded projects. So today, we're going to focus on the 3 state certifications. Our aim is to help you understand how the state makes purchases and give you the tools to evaluate contract opportunities, considering if they're right fit and the level of risk for your business. Let us know in the chat if you're already certified or if you plan to get certified within the next 3 months. Now, why should your business become certified with the state? California's buying power is massive and covers a wide range of products and services. Aside from luxury and entertainment items, the state purchases nearly everything. For instance, a disabled veteran business created camouflage lipstick with sunscreen and managed to contract with the military. Let's look at some of the main advantages of certification. First, there's a 5% preference. As a certified small business, you receive a 5% bid preference, allowing you to better compete with larger non-certified companies. The DVBE incentive, our Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, can receive up to 5% bid incentives, though specific percentages may vary depending on the contract. Department have discretion in setting these incentives based on the particular purchase. There's a $50,000 cap on preference for small businesses on contracts up to $1 million. Now, let me go ahead and go back to the previous slide just to cover kind of some important information. Like I said, to be a small business eligibility, for small business eligibility requirements, you must be independently owned or operated. Your business can be a sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation, but it must be independently owned and not a subsidiary. Market presence. Your business cannot dominate the markets for its product or services. There needs to be competitors in your field, and you cannot have a monopoly over the product or service you offer. Location. Your headquarters must be in California, and all of the owners or officers, in the case of the corporation, must be California residents. Employee limits. Your business must not have your business must have 100 employees or less. And gross annual receipts. Your average gross annual receipts must be no more than $18 million calculated over the past 3 years, or however many years you've been in operation, whichever is less. Now, for manufacturers, the 100 employee limit still applies, but there is no gross annual receipts cap. For micro businesses, to qualify as a micro business, your average gross annual receipts must be $6 million or less, and you can have up to 25 employees. And for the SB Public Works designation, the eligibility requirements also apply to the SB Public Works certification, but there are 2 exceptions. You can have no more than 200 employees versus 100 employees, and your gross annual receipts can be $43 million or less. Public works projects are usually on a larger scale, which is why the number of employees and gross annual receipts is larger. Now, a business should not apply for small business public works and a small business, because a small business can bid on public works contracts. It's just if you're a business between 100 employees, 200 employees, or you're in between that 18 million and 43 million dollar cap, you can register as a small business public works, so that way you can start bidding on public works contracts. It's just allowance for larger businesses to participate in the SB program, but it's specifically to public works contracts. Now let's go over the eligibility requirements for DVBE certification, which is the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise certification. To qualify, The state must verify that you served in the armed forces and have a service-connected disability of 10% or more. As the disabled veteran, you must reside in California. Many DVBEs can also be certified as a small business, which allows you to stack preference and incentives for added advantage. For DVBEs, there is no limit on employees or gross annual receipts count. So as long as you're a disabled veteran business with more than 51% or more than a 10% service-related disability, and the disabled veteran and all of the owners must reside in California, and the business must be owned or operated by by more than 51% of by the DVBE. Now let's go ahead and open it up to some Q&As about eligibility. Please write any questions you have and we will do our best to answer them. We still have a few more areas to cover, so please save those questions until we reach those sections. Awesome, awesome. And if you guys have any questions, later on we'll share our QR code so we can schedule one-on-ones. And you'll also have my contact information where you can contact me directly with any questions. Now let me go ahead and introduce you to Cal eProcure. This is California's centralized marketplace where you'll register your business and apply for certification. Let's head over to the next slide for more details about how to navigate Cal eProcure. When you certify your business, you'll set up an account on Cal eProcure, California's centralized procurement site. Once registered, your business is added to the DGS certified firms database. From there, you can manage your profile, set up notifications for bid opportunities, research solicitations, and explore potential contracts. Think of this as your go-to hub for state procurement resources, information, and opportunities, all at no cost. The web address is cal-eprocure.ca.gov, but please hold off on visiting right now. I'm going to walk you through key sections of the site to help you get familiar. We'll also be sharing this slide deck and recording afterwards, plus you'll have my email, so please feel free to reach out with any questions or assistance. Now, this is the Cal eProcure homepage, your one-stop site for state procurement. Let's go over some key navigation tools. At the top right corner is the Login Register button. Across the top menu bar, you'll find resources, video instructions on certifying your business, including 3 steps to get started, and links to a complete list of required documents. Quick links, which are shortcuts to find bid opportunities, contracts, past purchases, and certified firms. Help, which includes contacts and FAQs. Just below the header in the first box is a search option for current opportunities. You can use this search to look up solicitations, even if you're not registered. Next, you'll see 4 main boxes. In this workshop, we'll focus on get certified and find training resources and find public procurement information. And the 4th box, sell to the state, you'll find helpful videos on registration, along with links from other boxes. I recommend bookmarking this site for easy access. To get started, click Login/Register button in the top right corner. Now, this will take you to a page where you can either log in with your user ID and password, or if you're a new user, start the registration process by clicking the New Bidder Registration button at the bottom of the page. Today, we are going to go through the entire registration. Today, we aren't going to go through the entire registration process, but generally, you'll register by completing 5 steps to enter information about your business. If you need assistance, there's a video available to guide you through each step. And of course, you can always reach out to someone on our team. There's a couple of specific areas I want to cover in more detail, starting with our new supplier diversity data collection. In 2022, the Department of General Services began collecting voluntary diversity data from certified businesses, as well as currently registered and new businesses within their Cal eProcure profiles. Collecting this data is part of California's commitment to supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion in state procurement. We encourage all businesses registering with the state to complete the diversity data section. This data helps us evaluate the effectiveness and existing outreach programs and identify areas targeted outreach efforts are needed. We aim to make California's supplier base more representative of our state's diversity. This information is completely voluntary and can be added, changed, or removed at any time directly within your Cali Procure profile. And the supplier diversity data does not help you achieve contracts with the state. It doesn't give an advantage. It's just purely for OSDS to make sure we are reaching out to the all communities. For more details, visit the statewide supplier diversity program website listed here. Now let's once again open it up to some Q&As about this subject. Please write any questions you have and we'll do our best to answer them once again.
Hello, my name is Alejandro. How can I get certified? And there's a couple of questions that are similar. They want to know how they can get certified. I know you talked about logging in and the importance of capturing the data so you know the type of businesses that are seeking these opportunities. So will you cover that in the
Yep.
next couple of slides?
That's the next section. Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then let's see here, we share how we can get certified. Is Caltrans required also covered under Cali Procure?
No, Caltrans requirements are not covered under Cali Procure. You would have to go to the Caltrans website directly and find out their certification process for DBE certification.
Question. This is only DGS California wide specific, which is yes, correct?
Correct. Yes. Oh no, I was going to say we have some reciprocity partners, which we'll cover later, who also accept DGS's certification. But we don't accept any other certifications. But we do have some counties and municipalities who recognize state certification.
The next question. Also, the certification by agencies like City of LA, LBE, LSB, applicable with DGS?
We do have a reciprocity list where you can see who partners with DGS and recognizes our certification. I can't tell you offhand, as there's dozens of municipalities and counties and cities who recognize our certification.
Okay, and the next question, I think you covered it. Do you have to be in business for a certain number of years to get certified?
No, you don't. We do ask for 3 years of tax information, but if you haven't been in business for 3 years, you don't have to input 3 years worth of tax information. You can just put the information that you have and then the date your business was established.
All right, well, thank you. I think that's it for now.
Awesome. Awesome. Great questions. Now, once you're registered, you can begin the process of getting certified by logging into your account by clicking the Login to Register button shown here in the upper right-hand corner. Log in by entering your recently created user information. Once you're registered, return to the Cali Procure homepage where you'll now see your Work Center. The Work Center serves as a quick snapshot of your information on Cali Procure. You'll find details like your user ID, bidder supplier ID, contact information, and certification status if you are certified. There's also options to update your information and more. The next step is to apply for certification as shown here in the under no get started and apply for certification tiles. Here is a screenshot of the page. You'll see a link to video instructions along with steps to help you get ready before applying. You'll need items such as complete federal tax returns, last 3 years or however many years you've been in business, IRS certification, your firm's TIN tax identification number, quarterly contributions, return and report of wages, award of entitlement, which is only required for DBBEs, and additional documents depending on your business structure. Other documents may be needed. When you are ready to apply, click the Get Certified button shown here. Now, hopefully that answers the questions about how to get certified. Let's go ahead and open it up to some more Q&As if you have any other questions about the certification process.
All righty. So I think you just went over it. Orly was asking, what documents do I need as a woman and minority business?
Yeah, we don't offer the woman-owned or minority-owned businesses, so there is no documentation because we don't have that certifications within the state. Those are federal certifications, and the state only has our small business and disabled veteran business certifications.
Okay. And then just lastly, to add to what Pierre was mentioning, the LA Latino Chamber is having an in-person certification course on April 15th. Capacity is 25 people, and I think we've already reached capacity. So if you're one of the individuals that's registered for that day, you'll be receiving an email from me with the information that would be required for you to participate in the class. So that was just a little plug. So you can continue. I have no more questions to respond to.
Awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about keywords in your Cali Procure profile. Most businesses have a website which provides a platform to showcase the company, its team, its customers, and goods or services it offers. And keywords describe your good or services such as concrete, environment, or legal. Buyers can find your businesses through keywords or searches, and you pick the keywords. You enter the keywords on your Cali Procure profile, and it allows buyers within the state to look up product or services that your firm may offer. When going to make a purchase, they often type in a keyword and see which firms provide those particular product or services. Another important, one of the most important is UNSPSC codes. Like keywords, these are another descriptor that help buyers find your product or services. Keywords are 8-digit codes that precisely identify goods and services. You may be familiar with the NAICS codes, which classify industries. UNSPSC codes, however, uniquely describe specific product and services. Like keywords, UNSPSC codes help buyers find your business and also allow you to receive notifications about bid solicitations from Cali Procure. The codes are organized in a 4-level hierarchy as shown in the example on this slide. The higher the level, the more zeros at the end and the broader the description. And keywords are a vital part of your Cali Procure profile. They're going to allow you to receive notifications about opportunities. So when a buyer or when a department posts a solicitation that is advertised, they will use a keyword, and then you'll get a notification saying there's a department looking to make this purchase or looking for this service. And if you offer that product or service, it'll give you an opportunity to bid. You must have accurate keywords and accurate UNSPSC codes. And one major important part, there's no limit to how many UNSPSC codes you can have in your profile. So if you can offer the product or service, you want to make sure you have that UNSPSC code as well as the keyword. Like I said, there's no limit to keywords or UNSPSC codes when listed on your profile. You just want to make sure they're accurate to product or services you actually supply. Now let's go ahead and open it up to some questions about keywords and UNSPSC codes.
Okay, well, there's one quick question. All DGS requirements placed through a singular portal, or do they have to buy or subscribe to a professional one to see all the requirements?
No, it's all done through Cali Procure. So everything about being certified and how to do business with the state and how to do some market research, you can find all of that on Cali Procure, the same place which will house your certification profile.
Alrighty. Question, how do we discover opportunities before they are listed on Cali Procure? By the time opportunities are listed on Cali Procure, it's too late. Other firms have silently won the business.
I don't understand that. Once it's advertised, that when it's advertised, there is no business or firm who's who is available. There is no business or firm chosen. When the solicitation is advertised, that means they're accepting applications from businesses or firms.
Mm-hmm.
And during that process, and after that application deadline closes, they'll review all of the applications and make their choice on who the successful applicant is.
Yeah, it sounds like in real estate, when you have a pocket listing, I'm selling this house, come see it. Before it goes on the market, you make a bid and it's off the market type of scenario. I did have one question. UNSPSC codes, are they like NICs? Are they interchangeable? So if I'm looking, I'll just use the example of tissue paper. If the code on NICS was 12345, is it going to be the same on the
No.
UNSPSC?
No, and you want to make sure you're using DGS's specific UNSPSC codes. They don't correlate with the NASDAQ codes, and we also don't use the UNSPSC codes from the UNSPSC website. You want to make sure you're using DGS specific UNSPSC codes because we have curated our UNSPSC codes that are specific to what state departments purchase. And you can find a list of UNSPSC codes under Cali Procure. Also, when you're looking to enter your UNSPSC codes, you can type in keywords and it'll give you a list of relevant UNSPSC codes that you can use. And also, another great way to find UNSPSC codes are find certified firms who are competitors of yours and go and look at their UNSPSC codes and their keywords to see what they're using and if any of the product or services they offer relate to correspond with products or services you offer, and go ahead and copy those UNSPSC codes. All certified firms are public facing, and you can see the keywords and UNSPSC codes directly on Cali Procure.
Where are Cali Procure offices, contacts, and points located? That is online on their portal, correct? So you need to be registered in advance before you can access those codes, correct?
You can access the codes without being registered, but in order for buyers to find your profile using those codes, you must be certified. You also, like I said, you can find the codes without being certified. They're public facing, but if you want to do business using those codes, you must be certified. That's how state departments, when looking to make a purchase, they'll look for certified firms using those codes.
Alrighty. And then lastly, is micro part of small business?
Yes, it is. Micro business is a part of the small business program. There really isn't any incentives for micro business as opposed to small business. It gets the same incentive points as a small business. It's just kind of for OSDS to make sure we're keeping track of how many micro businesses we have and make sure we're reaching out to micro businesses as well as small businesses.
Now, is there a threshold to be a micro business? So for example, under 500,000, you're considered a micro, and then a small business is anything under 10 million?
I know the employee cap is 25. I cannot, off the top of my head, I do not know the GAR's gross annual receipts limits. But if you send me a question once you get my email address, you can email me that question directly, and I'll make sure I get an answer for you.
All right, thank you.
And now let's go ahead and move on to how to find contract opportunities. We'll go over the contract opportunity solicitations, which can be found under the California State Contract Registry, or CSCR, which can be accessed once again through Cali Procure. To find the CSCR, you can access the registry in three ways. One, on the home page in the white horizontal box under the title. You can also go under quick links or in your Work Center dashboard after logging in. The contract registry is where you'll find publicly advertised competitive bid solicitations. There you'll search for events to find those. You'll search for events by clicking Start Search, shown here in the upper right-hand corner. And now you're on the California State Contract Registry. Below the search criteria box, you'll see the search results. Note if you don't have any search terms, all current bids will be displayed. For searching, note the word event is used to refer to a bid solicitation. You can search by event name, a brief description of the bid, by department, or you can set up an advanced search. Let's go over and take a look at the advanced search function. Here is the page for setting up an advanced search. You can search by specific dates, UNSPSC codes, service areas, or even by specific licenses. As you see here in the service areas, UNSPSC codes, and the shown in the red boxes here. This is what the list of search results showing the solicitations being advertised. Each entry is clickable, allowing you to see the details of the solicitation. And once again, if you don't put in specific search criteria, you will get a list of all of the current opportunities within the state. And then on the details page, you'll find a lot of important information such as department name. This is the department conducting the procurement. Event end date. This is the deadline for bid responses. Anything submitted after this date and time will not be considered. Contact information shows who is responsible for the procurement. If you have any questions about the solicitation or the specific bid, they're the person to reach out to. View event package. Click here to access contract documents, which may include the statement of work, bid submission instructions, and other relevant documents. You also have the option of post an advertisement. If you're looking to collaborate, this can be useful if you're a prime contractor seeking a subcontractor or a subcontractor looking to partner with the prime. These ads are specific to this bid solicitation, and you can also view current ads that others have posted. When creating an ad, be clear and specific in the title, set a response deadline, and include your certification ID in the description. It's essential to evaluate each solicitation carefully to decide if it's worth your time and resources. Research the buyer's needs and ensure that you understand what they're looking for. Do your due diligence and ask tough questions to access your company, to make sure your company has the right capabilities and if it's worth pursuing. Similar to business development in the private sector, you'll want to show that you understand their needs and can demonstrate the relevant experience needed to perform to carry out the contract. Now we'll go ahead and open it up to some questions about the contract registry.
When there's a construction project too big for my company, are there opportunities to be a subcontractor of the winner?
Yes, definitely. And that's kind of where the posting an ad comes in. If
Mhm.
you see a solicitation where you say, okay, I can't fulfill the entire scope of the contract, but I think there are elements of the contract I can perform, you can go ahead and post that ad. And then if a larger corporation is looking to work with a smaller firm, they can connect with you. And that's a great tool because larger businesses can also receive the small business preference points if they connect with the small business. And if they're giving 25% of that contract to a small business, they can receive the small business preference points just as if they were a small business. So they're often looking to work with small businesses to help
Mhm.
them secure that contract.
Okay. That's really good to know. Question, how much does certification cost? And how many certifications can a company have in California?
Certification cost is absolutely free. It costs you nothing. As far as certification types, we only offer the small business and DVBE certifications and only one per business.
Mhm.
So, but you can stack those preference points. So small businesses receive 5%, DVBEs receive another 5%. If you're a small business, you can be certified as both. So if you're a small business that's and also a DVBE, you can receive up to 10% incentive preference.
Is SBA certification by clearinghouse applicable with DGS?
No, I don't know what that means, but no.
Okay.
I know we only offer the small business certification, and you must be registered on Cali Procure.
Yeah,
And
I'm not too well versed because I'm not a subject matter expert on a lot of items, but I do know a few things, and I believe you can get certified through the clearinghouse, and that's completely separate. But if you like, you can contact me, and I can kind of help guide you. And the same goes for certification with DGS. DGS is a great partner of the Alley Latino Chamber, and we work hand in hand to help our businesses get certified. So reach out to me afterwards and I can give you more details. What's the process to start certification?
Simple. Go on Cali Procure, do the login register, click the get certified or apply for certification now, and just go through the steps of getting certified. Certification for a small business is instantaneous. So once you input all your documents and you have all your information, you will get instant certification as long as you qualify. And unless there's some additional information, if you're an S corp or a limited liability company, there may be some additional documents we request, but typically it's always instant. Now for DVBE certification, it does take up to 2 weeks because we have to verify that you have a service-related disability. But for small business certifications, it's instantly and it's free.
And we have outreach liaisons at DGS who, if you have a language barrier, they do speak other languages, primarily English, but there are Spanish speaking folks who can assist you in case Spanish is your primary language or you understand more in a different language, not just Spanish.
Yes, we also have we do have bilingual liaisons who are here to help our Spanish speaking community.
Great. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about past purchases. To review past purchases, you head to Cali Procure homepage and click Find Public Procurement Information. This information is valuable for researching and preparing to pursue future solicitations. The SCPRS, also called the State Contracts Past Purchase Database, includes state and non-state dollars. It's public facing and is used to conduct market research. To use the SCPRS, first go to Public Procurement Information, shown here in the lower right-hand corner. You want to click the second link for the State Contract and Procurement Registration System, mainly known as CSPRS, or Skippers. This information in this database goes back to 2015, and this database is of past state purchases and reflects what the state has spent on purchases. You can search past purchases using various parameters and filters. Given the large volume of data, it's best to be specific as possible with your search terms. Queries can take a while to load, so be patient. In this example, the results are displayed in a spreadsheet format with additional columns to the right for more information. Typically, you can search by description using keywords related to the product and services you offer. Basic information is shown, such as the department that made the purchase, the business awarded the contract, and the amount spent. You can download this data for analysis to identify which departments buy your product and services and which businesses currently secure contract for similar goods and services, and more. And I want to emphasize the past purchase database is one of the most valuable tools on Cali Procure. It's where you can find which departments are making purchases similar to yours. You can put in a UNSPSC codes for product or services you offer, and it'll give you a list of departments who have made purchases like that in the past, which allows you to contact those departments directly and put yourself on their radar to let them know, hey, I saw you made this purchase on this date in the past. If you're ever looking to make that purchase in the future, here's how I can help you secure that purchase or bid opportunities, product or services. You can also see if it was awarded to a small business, and you can do your market research on that small business and go to their Cali Procure profile and see how their Cali Procure profile is set up and see which keywords and UNSPSC codes they have listed under their profile. Sorry. Now let's go ahead and open it up to some Q&As about the state contract registry.
Someone did ask if you can provide the link where you can get certified.
The link on get certified. I will put that in the chat once we are once we are done with the webinar, and once we reach the end, I'll go ahead and put that in the chat.
All right, perfect. Someone does do we have to sign up for direct deposits like we do when we work with County of LA?
No, no. Once you just need to have your your certification information, And once you're certified, once you receive a contract or once you're in the process of a procurement, all of that information will be handled by the State Department who's making the purchase.
And another question, how long is certification good for? Is that 2 years and then you need to
Yeah,
recertify?
yeah, 2 years and then you need to recertify.
Okay. Again, at no cost, right?
No cost, yes. Never a cost.
And let me see one more question. Marketing questions. Once certified, is there an online badge that you can put on our website to show our certification?
There is no online badge, but you can put your certification number, which will
Mhm.
show that you're certified. And so you can just, however you want to display that information. But you want to make sure that you have your state certification ID number.
Do you think maybe they could, quickly as go to Canva, use the DGS logo and put your certification number
Yeah.
and use that as an asset?
hmm Yes, you can. That's a
Yeah, there
public
you go.
facing website. So go ahead and whatever you need.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, one more. Is DGS a state agency or federal? Do you foresee any budgetary cuts with the new administration?
No, we are a state agency. We don't foresee any budgetary cuts due to that has to do with federal contracting or federal government. As far as state contracting, state politics and state budget concerns may come into effect, but as of now, we don't foresee any budget cuts happening. But that is always subject to change. But as
Correct.
far as with the federal administration, there's nothing that would affect us per se.
All right. Okay, we can move on.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Now we're going to go ahead and talk about SBDVBE advocates. I'll explain their role and how to connect with them and how to find them. As the name suggests, advocates support the state's commitment to contracting with small businesses, DVBEs, and fostering a strong small business economy. They are state employees working in purchasing within specific departments, advocating for small and disabled veteran businesses. They can even recommend your company to buyers. Advocates are your first point of contact. They're the people you can talk about your product or services, provide your capabilities, and your experience. Essentially, they're the ones you'll market your company to. They can help answer questions about whether you can sell your products or services to the state and guide you on potential solicitations now or in the future. Be sure to hone your pitch and keep it brief and always include your supplier ID. The best way to contact advocates is by email. Reach out to them every 3 to 4 months with any updates about your company. SBDVB Advocate is here to help SBDVBEs pursue contract opportunities with the state, with the department they work for. They work closely with the buyers in the department. And in the last year, departments are required to seek out new businesses for contract opportunities, and it's a key part of what advocates do. To find an advocate, you'll go to Cali Procure and click Find Training and Resources, shown in the lower left-hand corner. Under Research and Marketing, you'll see a link for Contact a Small Business and DVB Advocate, which will take you to the DGS page. And there you can download the Advocate Directory. The Advocate Directory provides details on each department, including the office, the advocate's name, contact information, email, and phone, and a link to their department's website. Some departments are highlighted in yellow, indicating they have an SB First policy. This policy requires staff to approach each contract or solicitation with the focus on small businesses and aims to incorporate them from the very beginning. For companies in construction, relevant departments are marked with an X in column C. Caltrans, for example, has a small business first policy, but does not include DVBEs in this policy. For DVBEs, Caltrans has a separate 5% participation requirement. Now we're going to go ahead and open it up to some questions about advocates. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat.
Alrighty, let's see. Is there any mentor to help first-time suppliers who want to bid a city contract opportunity?
We don't do city contract, so I can't, there would be no, we don't get involved in city contracts.
Okay. And then I don't have any questions.
Awesome. And just remember, we're doing state contracts only. So these are state departments who are looking to make purchases. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the SBDVBE Emergency Registry. It's a dedicated portal for California certified businesses to register as suppliers of emergency goods and services. Unlike Cali Procure, this portal is limited to businesses that offer goods and services from specific predetermined emergency categories. State Department buyers can access and search this registry to find this, sorry, suppliers for urgent needs. Which businesses should sign up? SBDVBE businesses that are fully prepared to support the state of California in emergency situations. Emergency contracting demands fast 24/7 response times, and businesses should only register if they are fully capable of immediately providing the goods and or services they list. These are some of the emergency registry categories. Businesses must select at least one category when registering. On this slide, we'll find basic information businesses need to register, such as their certification number, their address, their contact information, emergency categories, and a description of product and services. To register for the emergency registry, go to Cali Procure and Sell to the State, shown here in the right hand of the or left hand of the screen. Here's where you'll find the emergency registry information. The link will take you to a DGS page to learn all about emergency registry. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the commercially useful function. This and the next slide cover CUF, and CUF applies to all SBDVBE businesses bidding on or participating in a contract. This includes both listed SBDVBEs and any SBDVBEs that may substitute the listed business during the contract term. CUF requirements apply regardless of the procurement approach or payment method used. CUF compliance is essential for all bidding solicitations, participation in any contract. CUF evaluation is conducted by the buyers or contract administrators of the awarding department, both pre-award and throughout the contract terms. It is not up to the business to determine if they are performing a CUF. This determination is made by the awarding department. CUF status only exists within the context of a specific contract. Certification alone does not mean a firm is performing a CUF. Your business is not performing a CUF if you are acting as an extra participant in a transaction, contract, or project, and where funds are simply passed through to create the appearance of the SBDVBE. You're not being utilized to perform the work specified in the bid, or you're no longer providing the goods and or services listed in the initial bid. Essentially, a commercially useful function is to ensure that the small business who receives the incentive points is actually doing work on the contract. Specifically, if they're a subprime working with the larger organization who use that small business to receive SB incentives, the small business must be doing the work that they said they would be doing on the contract. It can't just be a pass through. Now let's go ahead and open it up to some questions about commercially useful function and the emergency registry. Are any other questions as we wrap up the presentation?
Alrighty, I don't see any questions. I do, oh, I'm sorry, I missed the question to this. Once certified, does it automatically show up on your Cali Procure profile?
Yes, it will. So once you're certified, you can go to your Cali Procure profile and see your certification ID and how your profile is listed
Okay.
to buyers.
Alrighty, next question. Is DGS headquartered in Sacramento? If yes, are businesses in the Sacramento area at an advantage to win more over the rest of the state due to the proximity?
Not necessarily. We are located in California. So if there's a specific on a building that's in on a department, yes, but typically our contract or solicitations are statewide. They're looking to make the state of California better. So whether it be facilities in SoCal or public state parks throughout the state, there's all types of procurement opportunities throughout the state. And while DGS itself is located within Sacramento, we have agencies throughout California.
Okay. Next one. Is there a minimum budget state has to go through a certified company? I'm not certain I understand that, but let me reread it. Is there a minimum budget state has to go through a certified company?
No, there is no minimum. State departments do have to spend whatever they spend, whatever their budget is. 25% of that budget has to go to small businesses, and 3% of that budget has to go to disabled veteran business enterprises. So while there is no specific amount they have to spend, 25% of whatever they do spend has to go to small businesses.
Okay. Next one. I'm new to this. Do you know if there's any contracts for administrative services such as bookkeeping, marketing, and business consulting?
I don't know. There's 250 plus agencies within the state of California, all making purchases at any with at the same time. So there's thousands of purchases being made at any given time. I can't speak on any particular product or services, but if at the end of this, we'll go ahead and give you a QR code so you can schedule a one-on-one, and there we can walk you through how to look for those past purchases and how to look up current opportunities. So you can
Okay.
do your market research and find departments that are looking for the product or service you're offering.
Alrighty. And what do you mean by pass through?
So a pass-through is, let's say you're a non-small business, but you wanted to receive the 5% incentive points on the contract. So you list a small business on the application when you apply for the contract. Now that small business has to be doing work on the contract. They just can't be there and you give the funds to the small business, but they're not doing any work on the contract. That's what we call a pass-through. It just means that the small business is listed there just for the apparent, just to get the incentive points, but they're not actually doing work. And
Mhm.
so, to be performing a commercially useful function, they must actually be performing work on the contract.
Okay. We're good for now.
It's good. Awesome. And now we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm going to share some resources in addition to the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce, who provide great resources for small businesses. We also have Apex Accelerators, who are best suited for established businesses. These centers provide assistance with government contracts specifically. We also have Small Business Development Centers, also known as called SBDCs. These are ideal for new businesses. They offer support with business consulting, planning, marketing, and access to capitals. We also have SCORE, which is geared towards newer businesses. They offer mentorship to help guide you through the early stages of business growth. And now we're going to go ahead and review what we've covered today. We started with an introduction to the SBDBBE program, where we discussed the purpose of the program and how it supports small business and disabled veteran businesses. Next, we covered the certification benefits, the advantages that certified businesses gain in state contracting, including bid preferences and exclusive opportunities. Then we went over certification eligibility, the requirements needed to qualify for the SBDBBE certification. We explored Cali Procure and the centralized platform for registration, certification, and finding contract opportunities. We also discussed the SBDBBE Emergency Registry, a special portal for certified businesses ready to provide emergency goods and services. Finally, we covered commercially useful function, requirements, explaining its importance and compliance and how it applies to all SBDVB participants and contractings. Each of these sections gives you a foundational understanding to navigate and succeed in California state contracting. Before we wrap up, I want to invite you to follow us on LinkedIn, where you can stay up to date on the latest updates. And you can follow us on LinkedIn. And also, I want you to take a picture of this QR code. It's where you can schedule a one-on-one consultation with the business outreach liaison, such as myself. And there you can get a 30 minutes to an hour where we work with you directly on how to set up your profile, how to find, how to market your business to state agencies, how to do your market research, and how to make sure you understand Cali Procure. And I want to thank you so much for participating today. Thank you to Olivia and the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce for having us. We want to see all businesses succeed. And so I also want to give you my contact information. Take the time to write down my email address. And if you have any questions in the future, please reach out to me directly, and I will be sure to help you, give you that attention you need to make sure you can succeed in state contracting.
Thank you, Pierre, for the information. And before you drop off, I know you have 11 o'clock hard stop and we've gone
Yeah,
over.
sure. No
Lastly,
worries.
do you have information on the speed rail system?
The high-speed rail system? No, I do
Mhm.
not.
That's a private project, right?
Well, we do have this High-Speed Road Authority, which is a state agency.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have questions, you can go to the advocate directory and look for the High Speed Rail Authority, the Department of High Speed Rail, and contact their advocate. Like I said, if you have any questions about how to find that advocate, go ahead and send me an email, and I'll make sure you can you know who to contact.
Well, thank you for your time, Pierre, and we will see you soon. Thank you.